The ancient wisdom of Paramahansa Yogananda teaches us that our homes are not merely physical structures of wood, stone, and mortar, but living temples of consciousness that profoundly influence our spiritual evolution. The great master understood that the vibrations we cultivate within our living spaces directly affect our mental clarity, emotional well-being, and spiritual progress. In our modern world, where chaos and discord seem to permeate every corner of society, the home becomes our sanctuary, our ashram, our sacred refuge where we can nurture the divine presence within ourselves and create an atmosphere conducive to higher consciousness. Before we begin, if you enjoy this video, give me a like, comment below about your thought and hit subscribe button so you don't miss any video inspired by Yogananda's teaching. Thank you very much. The first essential practice for elevating the vibrations in your home involves the purification of the physical environment through conscious cleanliness and sacred order. Yogananda emphasized that spiritual development cannot flourish in an atmosphere of disorder and neglect. When we allow clutter to accumulate, dust to settle, and chaos to reign in our living spaces, we create energetic blockages that impede the free flow of prana, the vital life force that sustains all existence. Begin by approaching the act of cleaning not as a mundane chore, but as a spiritual practice, a form of karma yoga where every sweep of the broom becomes a meditation, every wiping of surfaces becomes an offering to the divine. As you clean, visualize yourself not merely removing physical dirt, but clearing away negative thought patterns, stagnant energies, and psychic debris that have accumulated in your space. Open windows regularly to allow fresh air and sunlight to flood your rooms, for these natural elements carry the purifying vibrations of nature itself. Consider the placement of objects in your home with mindful intention, ensuring that each item serves a purpose and contributes to the overall harmony of the space. Remove or donate possessions that no longer serve your highest good, for material excess weighs down the spirit and creates energetic heaviness. The Master taught that simplicity in our external environment reflects and reinforces simplicity in our minds, making it easier to achieve the inner stillness necessary for deep meditation and communion with the divine. The second transformative practice centers on establishing a dedicated meditation space within your home, a sacred altar where you can regularly commune with the infinite consciousness that pervades all creation. Yogananda stressed the importance of having a specific location reserved exclusively for spiritual practices, as repeated meditation in the same spot creates a powerful accumulation of spiritual vibrations that makes it progressively easier to enter deep states of consciousness. Choose a quiet corner or room in your home where you will be least disturbed by household activities and external noise. This space need not be large or elaborate, but it should be treated with reverence and kept immaculately clean. Place upon your altar images or statues of saints, masters, and divine beings who inspire your spiritual aspirations, for their presence serves as a constant reminder of the higher consciousness you seek to embody. Yogananda particularly recommended keeping photographs of one's guru or spiritual teacher on the altar, as these images serve as focal points for devotion and channels for divine grace. Include fresh flowers when possible, as their natural beauty and fragrance elevate the atmosphere and remind us of the impermanence of material existence. Light candles or oil lamps during your meditation practice, for fire has been recognized across all spiritual traditions as a purifying element that transforms gross matter into subtle energy. Burn high-quality incense made from natural ingredients such as sandalwood, frankincense, or sage, allowing the sacred smoke to permeate your meditation space and create an olfactory anchor that signals to your subconscious mind that it is time to turn inward. Keep your meditation cushion, shawl, and any spiritual texts you regularly study in this sacred space, and avoid using these items for mundane purposes. Over time, as you consistently practice meditation in this dedicated area, the vibrations will become so powerful that simply sitting in this space will naturally draw your consciousness upward towards superconsciousness. The third vital element in creating high vibrations involves the conscious use of sound and sacred music throughout your home. Yogananda understood the profound impact that sound vibrations have on consciousness, teaching that the entire universe is created and sustained by the cosmic vibration of Aum, the primordial sound from which all creation emanates. Fill your home with spiritually uplifting music, devotional chanting, and sacred mantras that resonate with the higher chakras and attune your consciousness to divine frequencies. Play recordings of Yogananda's cosmic chants, which he specifically designed to combine the devotional fervor of India with the harmonies of the West, creating a universal language of the soul that transcends cultural boundaries. Classical Indian ragas, Gregorian chants, sacred hymns, and instrumental music featuring instruments like the sitar, flute, or harp all carry vibrations that soothe the nervous system and elevate consciousness. Be mindful of the quality and content of all sounds in your environment, recognizing that harsh, discordant, or violent music creates corresponding disturbances in your subtle energy field. The Master warned against filling our minds with the crude vibrations of materialistic entertainment, which agitate the mind and reinforce identification with the limited ego self. Instead, cultivate periods of sacred silence in your home, for in the absence of external sound, we become more attuned to the subtle inner vibrations of the soul. Practice chanting Aum aloud in your home, allowing the vibration to resonate through every room and permeate the very walls with divine consciousness. Yogananda taught specific techniques for chanting Aum, emphasizing that it should be intoned deeply and prolonged, listening carefully to the sound as it reverberates both externally and internally. When family members or housemates join together in group chanting or devotional singing, the combined vibrations create an exponentially more powerful spiritual atmosphere that benefits everyone in the household. Even playing recordings of Aum or other sacred mantras softly in the background throughout the day can maintain an elevated vibration in your home, creating an invisible but palpable atmosphere of peace and spiritual awareness. The fourth essential practice involves cultivating loving, harmonious relationships with all who share your living space, for the quality of human interactions profoundly affects the vibrational atmosphere of any environment. Yogananda taught that the home should be a training ground for unconditional love, where we learn to see the divine presence in our family members and housemates, even when their human imperfections challenge our patience and understanding. Make a conscious commitment to speak only words of kindness, encouragement, and truth within your home, recognizing that every word carries a vibrational frequency that either uplifts or degrades the collective consciousness of the household. When conflicts arise, as they inevitably will in any shared living situation, approach them with the attitude of a spiritual warrior seeking to overcome the ego's tendency toward defensiveness, blame, and self-righteousness. Practice the art of deep listening, truly hearing the concerns and feelings of others without immediately formulating your response or justification. Before speaking in moments of tension, pause and silently invoke divine guidance, asking that your words be instruments of healing rather than weapons of hurt. Yogananda emphasized the importance of forgiveness, teaching that holding grudges and resentments creates toxic energy that poisons the atmosphere of our homes and our hearts. Make it a daily practice to consciously release any negative feelings toward household members, recognizing that everyone is doing their best given their current level of consciousness and understanding. Express gratitude regularly for the presence of your family and housemates, acknowledging the spiritual lessons and opportunities for growth that relationships provide. Create household rituals that bring everyone together in positive, uplifting activities, whether sharing meals with mindful presence, engaging in group meditation or prayer, or simply gathering to share stories and laughter. The Master taught that laughter itself is a powerful spiritual force that dissolves tension and opens the heart, so cultivate joy and lightheartedness in your home. When you must correct or guide children or others in your care, do so with firmness tempered by love, always remembering that discipline should aim to awaken wisdom rather than instill fear. By consciously working to maintain harmonious relationships, you create a vibrational field of love that transforms your home into a true sanctuary of the spirit. The fifth transformative practice centers on bringing the consciousness of the divine into every mundane activity performed within your home, sanctifying the ordinary through the alchemy of awareness. Yogananda revolutionized spiritual practice by teaching that we need not retreat to caves or monasteries to achieve enlightenment, but can instead transform our daily lives into continuous meditation by performing all actions with divine remembrance. As you prepare meals in your kitchen, do so with the awareness that you are not merely combining ingredients, but channeling divine energy into nourishment that will sustain the temple of the body. Offer silent prayers of gratitude for the food, blessing it with positive vibrations before serving it to yourself and others. The Master taught that food prepared with love and spiritual consciousness carries those vibrations into the bodies of those who consume it, affecting not only physical health but mental and spiritual well-being. When washing dishes, folding laundry, or performing any household task, practice the presence of God by maintaining awareness of the divine consciousness that animates your hands and empowers every action. Transform routine activities into opportunities for mantra repetition, silently chanting sacred names or affirmations as you work. Yogananda particularly recommended the practice of Hong Sao, mentally repeating Hong with each inhalation and Sao with each exhalation, which can be practiced during any activity to maintain spiritual awareness. Before beginning any task, take a moment to center yourself, offering the action and its fruits to the divine rather than performing it for ego gratification or material gain alone. This practice of karma yoga, or selfless action, purifies the heart and prevents the accumulation of karmic bondage. Maintain awareness of your posture and movements throughout the day, recognizing that the body is an instrument of consciousness and that graceful, mindful movement reflects and reinforces inner harmony. Create small reminders throughout your home, such as inspirational quotes, sacred symbols, or images that prompt you to return to spiritual awareness when the mind wanders into unconscious patterns. By infusing every action with divine consciousness, you transform your entire home into a living meditation, where the boundary between sacred and mundane dissolves in the recognition that all of life is an expression of the one infinite spirit. The sixth and culminating practice involves establishing regular spiritual routines and rituals that create a rhythmic structure supporting sustained high vibrations in your home. Yogananda emphasized the importance of regularity in spiritual practice, teaching that the subconscious mind responds powerfully to consistent patterns and that establishing sacred routines creates channels through which divine grace can flow more easily into our lives. Begin each day with a morning spiritual practice, rising early to meditate during the precious hours before dawn when the world is quiet and the veil between the material and spiritual realms is thinnest. The Master taught that the vibrations of early morning are particularly conducive to deep meditation and that establishing this practice sets a positive tone for the entire day. Create an evening routine as well, using the transition from activity to rest as an opportunity to review the day with honest self-reflection, offering gratitude for blessings received and seeking forgiveness for any actions that fell short of your highest ideals. Designate one day each week as a special spiritual observance, perhaps abstaining from unnecessary activities and dedicating extra time to meditation, spiritual study, and devotional practices. Observe the changing seasons and celestial events with awareness, recognizing that we are part of the great cosmic dance and that aligning ourselves with natural rhythms enhances our spiritual receptivity. Celebrate spiritual holidays and the birthdays of saints and masters with special ceremonies in your home, creating traditions that honor the timeless wisdom they embodied. Establish a practice of regular spiritual study, setting aside time to read and contemplate the teachings of Yogananda and other illumined souls, for their words carry vibrations of realization that awaken corresponding awareness in receptive hearts. Consider fasting periodically, as Yogananda taught that giving the digestive system rest allows energy to be redirected towards spiritual pursuits and mental clarity. Through these consistent practices and sacred routines, you create a stable foundation of high vibrations in your home that persists even during challenging times, serving as an anchor that keeps you connected to your highest spiritual aspirations. When these practices are woven together into the fabric of daily life, your home becomes a true temple of the living God, a space where the vibrations are so refined and elevated that anyone who enters can feel the palpable presence of peace and divine consciousness. This transformation does not happen overnight, but through patient, consistent application of these principles, you will gradually notice profound changes in the atmosphere of your living space and in your own state of consciousness. The home you create through these practices becomes not only a sanctuary for your own spiritual development but a beacon of light that radiates positive vibrations into the surrounding community and the world at large, fulfilling Yogananda's vision of individual transformation as the foundation for collective awakening and the establishment of heaven on earth.